Don't ever try and create lag ever again. What I'm about to tell you is going to be such an eye-opener, and I hate it when I hear the commentators on TV tell you, especially when you see Sergio, which I absolutely love how he swings it, by the way. Yeah, you've got to really create lag in this downswing, really create this angle, because we end up trying it and we end up absolutely ruining our golf game. Let's talk about how we do this correctly. So let's just look about what I'm banging on about here and why this is so wrong for our golf game. I bet you this, and you're watching this right now, if you're right-handed, you've tried to create lag before, you've ended up spooning it off to the right more times than you've hit it good. If you're left-handed, you've ended up spooning it off the left. Basically, in my eyes, that feeling, if we don't create lag correctly and we don't create it as a result of good movement, we absolutely go to rat. Okay, it's got to come as a good movement and a byproduct, and not as something that we focus on. So this is the reason why we're going to spend I think what I want you to think of today's video is, it's just opening your eyes, it's an eye-opener here, and saying, right, okay, lose that concept, create other good motions, which we'll talk about later, and that will create some much better speed, some much better look to our shots, and consistency. We're all about consistency. That's what we're all looking for, so let's make sure we're working towards that. So, show you this from the face-on perspective first, and then we'll go down the line. So have a look at this. So as I try and create loads of lag, what I see for a lot of golfers is we pull down on this handle, or we start to cup our lead wrist, and we start to actually stand up and get really narrow like this into the golf ball. Or we keep this angle, we open the face, we cup the wrist, and then our face points way off to the right. Both not good at all for our golf game. So in summary, we're pulling down on this handle, we're cupping that lead wrist, opening that face, and giving ourselves no chance of actually hitting this golf ball with a nice heavy hit in terms of nice contacts and face to path relationship. We're more likely to get that glancing blow across the ball. So it comes down the line perspective here, and look at this. This is exactly the same thing, and this is why it's eye-opening. You tell me now, get in those comments, which one looks better. I'm going to do two versions here. So 1 or 2. Second one, really narrow, no width, and look at our club face here. And we'll put those both in slow motion over this now so you can see those as well. 1 and 2. Which one do you think looks better? Okay. So what we were saying from the face-on perspective was that aspect of pulling down on that handle, opening that face, and then really giving us no chance of trying to square that face up into impact. Obviously we would have some chance because we're all good players, but on the whole we're going to hit a lot worse shots. So don't try and do this in your downswing on narrow to feel that we create this lag, because 9 times out of 10 you're going to cup this lead wrist and you're going to start spooning it off to the right. Enough of me going on and preaching about that, because I don't know, I feel very strongly about it, because I think when you hear it on TV, it's all we ever hear. Oh, look at the lag, look at this, look at that. We don't want to hear that. We don't want to hear that. They create that as a result of good movement. I want you to feel width in your downswing, and this is how we're going to do it. Let's now talk about what we want to happen, and good angles could come as a result of good motion. So first and foremost, if we want to create good angles in the golf swing, we need these wrists to be able to move correctly. So having this golf club in the correct position to start with, so our grip, is a first good point to look at. And watching this now, just treat these next four to 5 points. I say 4 to 5 because some of them sort of amalgamate into one there for us. So what I want to do here is, number 1, club into the fingers, because this gives us good wrist mobility through the whole shot. Look now, as I have this club in the fingers, I can really easily move my wrist. In the palm, okay, I can move it, but there's a lot more effort that has to go through this. So under loading, under speed, when we're swinging this golf club extremely fast, especially with driver, it's going to be hard for me to organise this movement. So number 1, let's go face on perspective. Having the golf club in the fingers, because have a look at this right now. Imagine you had it in the palm and you were trying to create lag. A lot easier for me to hold this position in my palm. We'll look straight away where this club head goes. Look at the difference in that. 1, palm, 2. There's so much pressure going through this part of my forearm, it's very, very hard for me to create that release. So make sure on that point number 1, we've got that club into the fingers, 2.5 knuckles in our hand and our crease pointing into our right shoulder. That is the blend I want us to have to address this ball, okay? First and foremost, let's get that right. The second thing, let's feel that in the backswing, we work through a position where we create this sort of L-shaped looking motion. So halfway back, I like to feel as though we've sort of started to set this wrist into a nice flat position. It's not too much, where it goes cupped, the more you make it, look how much more cup we get. It's just on a slight angle, pointing somewhere down towards the golf ball. So just have a play around with this, and that's it. It's not rigid. It's a nice gather up to this position and then hands on top of the shoulder. So that's what I'd class as point number 2. Up. Up. So we're preparing this body, we're preparing this golf club through the backswing with a good grip and a little bit of a set of these wrists. Let's now talk through downswing, and we need an alignment stick for this. For me, there's a few things why we can create lag. It's good grip, it's good backswing, and it's good body movement overall. So if you look at this, if I stand up in this downswing and I had what we think of as lag, I'm going to miss this ball. I'm going to go straight over it. I have to unload this early to help me find the golf ball. So if we flip that on its head and said, right, okay, can we move as best as we can? Tick, we're going to do that right now. So we're going to get over the golf ball, we're going to stand here, move to the top, and I want you to feel that starting your downswing, belt buckle works to target, upper half just follows. Now look how I've actually not even thought about this angle, I've still got it, and now I can unload it into the ball in this position, not this position, because this would work this way, this can work this way. I can really feel as though I can hit this golf ball away. So what I want you to actually do is hit this one-handed now, and we're going to show a slow motion version of me doing this, standing over this, back, down and through, and just look, I'm not even thinking about creating lag. I've got a good grip, I've got a good backswing, and I've got good body movement in the downswing. So we're going to point points 3 and 4 together here on if we feel as though we start with the lower, upper follows, this creates good motion of the golf club. So this is the position we're looking for, points 3 and 4, body movement and club position as a result. So look at that slow motion one, we play it over again now. It looks great, doesn't it? So I think a great way for us to do this is with driver, just hit 2 or 3 away to start your range session one-handed. I'm a big believer in this because you have to organise movement correctly, because this golf club now, relative to you, is extremely heavy. Compared to putting 2 hands on it, it feels a lot heavier. So what we're going to do here is point number 5 is summarising this off. How do we feel we can create lag? Well, look at me now. I want you to feel we've got width in the downswing, and this is the final point. Width in the downswing. So it's not narrow. I want you to feel we've got width. I still got this angle. I can still rotate, but now I've got width and I've got speed. I've not got narrow and cramped. So what potentially feels like you've got more room and actually potentially feeling like a slower motion for you isn't. It's actually going to make a lot more speed, and you know what? A lot more bang for our buck. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Smash factor for a lot of golfers is so underrated. We're more bothered about our club head speed, and yeah, okay, I might create some speed doing this, but I guarantee you your smash factor is going to be all off the chart. Whereas if we can have consistent smash factor, I said to you at the start, we can start to be more consistent, okay? So follow these factors. It's a good grip, okay? Feeling that we set the club in the backswing. Points number 3 and 4, get that across your chest, working one-handed, realise how it organises the club, and then that concept to take it to the golf course is width at this last parallel, hands on the right thigh, and swing through to give us some great feelings to take to the golf course. Hit this one away now, have a look at this shot. I mean, Not like I planned it. But thanks so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, do not forget to hit that big red subscribe button. I need your support. Hit it, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.